Psalm 51:6 says, surely you desire truth in my inmost being. I want to share a story with you of when Cam and I were early on in our marriage, and our boys were young, maybe 3 and 5 at the time. And we were struggling in our marriage, and we ended up in a counselor's office. And by the way, I do share this story, and I share a whole lot more in the Meant to Live 6 sessions that are available online right now, a video series. So hopefully you'll be able to get that, because I want you to feel the life. I want you to be alive and feel empowered and feel glorious. So do look at that. But this story comes from that series. Anyway, so Cam and I were struggling. We ended up in the counselor's office. And the counselor was asking various questions, and at one point said, Nancy, tell me about your parents. Tell me about your mom and your dad and your upbringing. And I shared, stuff about my mom and said, I didn't have a dad. He was abusive and left when I was 5, so that's kind of irrelevant. But whatever, and I kind of went on. And at the end of the time, this particular counselor was wise and said, Nancy, one of the things I'd like you to go and do this week is to go home and write a list of everything you would like Cam to be to David and Aaron. What kind of a father would you like him to be to those boys? I was like, oh, perfect. No problem. I can come up with that list. So I went home and I did my job, and I came up with all the things I want him to protect the boys. I want him to go to their games and cheer them on. I want him to hug them. I want him to encourage them with his words, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I made this long list. Anyway, went back the following week to the counselor. And he said, so Nancy, did you do it? I said, of course. And he said, go ahead and read it. So I read all of these items and then a whole lot more. And then he said to me at the end of the counseling time, he said, Nancy, I want you to go home this week and I want you to pray. And I want you to say to God, God, I didn't have a father who, before every single line item, Nancy, I didn't have a father who protected me. I didn't have a father who provided for me. I didn't have a father who, etc., etc. I'm telling you, it was such a watershed moment for me. It was huge. If that's something that you struggle with, fathers, a father who was a deadbeat dad, a father who walked away, a father who was abusive, a father who neglected you in some serious way, I would just so encourage you to do the very same thing I did numbers of years ago, to start to break free and to come alive and to begin to move towards God the Father, since I had that barrier between God and me because of my earthly father. Oh my golly, what a difference it's made in my life. God bless you today.